But once I stepped into the construction industry, when I saw the plans getting into a reality of buildings, cost and time are always limited. It's not unlimited like any other businesses. So if you see, we have been talking about the 3D BIM model for the past 20 years, but the adoption rate in the construction industry is very low.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of FaceTime with Leaders, where we dive into the minds of visionaries shaping industries, pushing boundaries, and redefining success. Today, we have a guest who is not just a master of managing some of the most challenging and iconic projects across the globe, but also a true architect of value, creating not just buildings, but legacies. What does it take to bring large scale projects to life in some of the most complex and dynamic environments? What drives a person to consistently innovate, stay ahead of the curve, and deliver excellence when the stakes are at their highest? Join us as we uncover the journey, the philosophy, and the mindset of a leader whose approach to problem solving and decision making continues to inspire the construction and project management world. Stay tuned as we chat with Mr. Ashok Kumar Santharam, an individual whose insight could reshape how we think about construction, leadership, and the future of the industry. Thank you for being here, Mr. Ashok Kumar Santharam, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you for having me to the phase two with the leaders.
Mr. Ashok, you have had an incredible journey across some of the world's most iconic projects, and I'm sure there have been many moments along the way that shaped your career. So, let me ask, when you look back to where it all began, as a young engineer with Larsen and Toubro, what was it that first sparked your passion for the construction industry? What were some of those early moments or challenges that really set the tone for your incredible rise in the field?
To be honest, I didn't had the real passion to go in the construction industry. It all happened because I didn't get into the chance to become a computer engineering, and I ended up with doing civil engineering, and that's how I came to the construction industry. But once I stepped into the construction industry, when I saw the plans getting into a reality of buildings and bridges and big industrial houses, that's how it started building the passion in me, virtually based on the practical experiences when I was seeing and feeling it. That's what it all brought into me. Uh, and when you go and when after seeing each project when it comes to a completion, you take the pride like, okay, this is the project built by me. Oh, that is a mega project which I was part of this mega development, and that makes the more pride and brings in the more passion in you. And the early stages, my major overcomings were on the obstacles of tight deadlines, because from your college out, you don't work on tight deadlines as apart from achieving your exam deadlines. But in real projects, the deadlines are real deadlines. Because every day counts and it's cost money. And in construction, unlike the other factory businesses, factory works, it's the unexpected issues are you face on every day at site. Even two buildings when you construct, they are not the same. On practically on ground, when you go, you find different scenarios and different challenges, and coordinating with different stakeholders. Like you have engineers, structural engineers, architects, authorities, approvals, and labors, and various disciplines, mechanical, electrical, all this stakeholders management. This is all what set tone for my incredible rise in the field.
That's such a powerful story, Mr. Santram. And it's amazing to hear how those early challenges and experiences truly shape your path. It really puts into perspective the dedication and passion that goes into building such remarkable careers. All right, so moving ahead, managing budgets for projects worth millions, such as Medan District 1 and Safa projects, must come with a fair share of challenges. So, can you share a moment when you had to make a tough decision to ensure the success of these projects?
All construction projects work on three major pillars. One is a cost, time, and quality. We call it a triangle for any of the projects. Cost and time are always limited. It's not unlimited like any other businesses. But in one of the major projects, we had the budget overrun. The tender returns are higher than what we had initially budgeted. And we had to take a hard step by negotiating very hard with the contractor to bring down the price. That was one. And the second thing, we had to implement the value engineering process by adopting alternate designs. We were looking for alternate designs and alternate materials which could bring down the price. So these were the two actions we had to take to manage the budgets there.
So talking about cost management is at the heart of your role, right? As you said, the triangle, and cost management comes at the top of it. So what do you consider your most significant achievement in terms of cost control or budgeting? And what innovative approaches did you implement to achieve that?
Like I initially mentioned that cost and time are always limited for any projects. And if you had unlimited money, then you never had to have the cost managers on any of the projects. And then there is nothing called return on capital investments. So if you want to increase your return on capital investment, you have to ensure that you spend less on the capital so that your return is higher at the end of the project. So the major changes which I adopted in my career lifetime was collaborating the budget. When preparing the budget, normally, usually what happens is the only cost manager themselves, they start preparing based on the past expenses. But what I did was I tried to involve the various stakeholders, the concession managers, the design team, take their inputs and build that into the cost management, cost plan. So this helps to make the cost plan more robust compared to only involvement of the quantity surveys or the cost managers. Second is on the strategic procurement, like when large scale projects come up, you have the advantage of bulk purchase agreements you do. With that, you can negotiate with the suppliers a much better competitive price for a longer period. That brings down a very cost effective tool. Secondly, lean construction practices. We adopt lean construction techniques to minimize the waste and improve the efficiency on site. Streamline some of the processes to bring down the downtime and optimize the use of labor and equipment. And as usual, the common practice in our concession, this is value engineering. Look for alternate designs, specifications, and alternate materials which can give you the same value, bring in the same value, however, at a much better price. Then in the industries, normally we put in our tender contract documents, penalizing the contractor for not achieving or not performing. But on the other hand, I try to suggest the management go for performance incentives. Like if the contractor is able to deliver the project on time or before time, he should be incentivized for that. If he's delivering, he's bringing to the table from his side any solutions which saves the employer with a lot of budgets, then the budget should be shared with him, the profit should be shared with him, or what savings he is bringing to the table. So by this, it encourages not only from one side, the effort is on the other side of the contractor as well to bring the best to the project. And of course, at the last, the technology integration, like the BIM, which tries to reduce the clashes, and then the end result is we avoid reworks and abortive works, which obviously saves time as well as cost.
Absolutely, Mr. Ashok. And it's incredible how you managed to balance cost control with project goals. Sounds like that innovative approach really made a difference.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ashok, the construction industry is rapidly evolving with new technologies and strategies reshaping how projects are managed. So, from your perspective, what are some of the key global trends in cost management and project commercial management that professionals in the field should be keeping an eye on?
Yeah. Construction industry is rapidly evolving. However, when compared to other industries, I would say the technology adoption is very slow. So if you see, we have been talking about the 3D BIM model for the past 20 years, but the adoption rate in the construction industry is very less compared to the way mobile technology has changed from a normal Nokia phone to now the advanced 5G technologies. But however, the adoption has been happening, and wherever it has happened, they have benefited with the changes. Like the 3D BIM model, it was just not a 3D BIM model. Now it's gone to 5D. Like you can integrate your program in that, you can integrate your cost as well as the future of maintenance of the buildings as well. So now it's no more 3D, it's called 5D BIM modeling. And it's not restricted only to the concession phase, but entire life cycle of the asset. So it's a long-term benefit. So the short-term, the capital expenditure on BIM implementation may be more, but when we compare it with the long life cycle of the full asset, it surely adds benefit to it. Further, the rapid adoption of precast systems, the new technologies like the 3D printing brings in better quality, time, efficiency, and cost savings as well, because you avoid manual errors, you mechanize the things, which gives better quality compared to where involvement of labor intensive location. The industry is turning from a labor intensive to more mechanized, and with the adoption of building automation, it's turning civil engineers to more tech engineering. Like similar to earlier, the car industry was only restricted to mechanical and automobile engineers, but now all the technology is coming to the car, and it's more tech savvy compared to the old days of mechanical. So such things are coming. So we need to the civil engineers of modern construction industry need to be more have the knowledge and develop on the latest technologies which is coming, how to improvise quality, time efficiency, and cost efficiency. Anything which can affect all these three is the most welcome in industries.
Absolutely. It's interesting to hear how technology and sustainability are shaping the industry. And those trends are definitely becoming key drivers in the modern project management also. So, Mr. Santharam, looking ahead, what are your aspirations for the future, especially when it comes to contributing to a boardroom level? And how do you envision shaping the strategic direction of large scale projects or organizations in the years to come?
Yeah. I always have the opinion that it's very important to take decisions rather than just waiting at the sidelines. I consider, like in construction, any business, time is money. So decision making should be fast, and because each day, each delays will cost multi-million dollars, depending on the size of the project or the business decisions. Uh, and also ensuring the robust financial health of the organization by implementing effective cost management practices, as well as exploring the newer avenues of revenue streams. Both has to go and have. You cannot just simply do cost cutting in the existing environment and bring down the prices, but you also need to see what are the new avenues you can generate so that you can keep going and adapt and make the business survive for longer.
Rightly said, Mr. Ashok, and it's inspiring to see how you're thinking about not just the operational side, but the strategic impact you will have in boardrooms. All right, so moving on to the next question. ESG consideration seems to be at the forefront of project management now. So, how do you see the industry shift towards ESG impacting the future of construction, particularly in luxury and large scale development?
In the last decade, there's a big shift and discussion happening on the sustainable design on this aspect, especially ESG in construction industries. So if you take on, especially now in the large scale projects, sustainable design has taken a big focus point. Using eco-friendly materials, the design itself to ensure that they reduce energy consumptions and environmental impacts. Building automation has rapidly grown. So automated HVAC systems, lighting systems in the buildings has come into place only because of sustainable design focus. Similarly, the green certification has become a norm in the industries. Now, most of the people, civil engineers are getting LEED certifications themselves because they are adapting themselves to the knowledge which is required by the industry. And most of the projects are aiming for certification like LEED, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, to validate the sustainability efforts they have taken for the projects. So LEED Platinum, LEED Gold rated, LEED Silver rating. There are many hotel buildings which coming up with certifications of this itself. So they are, it shows their commitment towards the sustainabilities. And same thing with innovative technologies adoption also has being focused on the sustainable. We talked earlier on the BIM 3D modeling, which avoids the clashes between various services when you which you encounter during it 2D modeling. So 3D avoids these clashes, which at later stage during the construction phase, you avoid the reworks and abortive costs, both cost as well as time, as well as the material wastage, which has impact on the environment. Then is you focus on the circular economy principles, like embracing circular economy principles by designing buildings that can be easily adopted and reused and recycled. The great examples were many of the stadiums and related facilities during the FIFA Cup in Qatar. How they planned was once the FIFA Cup is over, they can reuse these buildings, relocate to some other locations and rebuild and reuse it all the way. Same thing in Dubai, they did Expo 2020. Once the Expo 2020 was done, which was it's only a 6 months exhibition. Once it's completed, all these building materials were reused for a Expo city itself. So in the initial planning stages, we planned such a way that all these building materials could be reused. That's an excellent aspect which is coming into picture nowadays.
Rightly said, Mr. Ashok, and it's exciting to hear how ESG is shaping your approach to large-scale projects. It really emphasizes how the construction industry is evolving to meet not just financial but also environmental and social responsibilities. So, Mr. Ashok, outside of the technical aspects, what has your personal experience with Directors Institute been like? And how has it influenced your perspective on leadership and personal growth?
My experience with the Leadership Institute has been great so far. They have been imparting practical real life experience combined with the theoretical knowledge. Especially Mr. Sundareshan's was very remarkable. I can't emphasize anything less than that. He emphasized the importance of ethical behavior and decision making that would foster the commitment to integrity and transparency in the leadership roles. It has been excellent, and my journey so far is remarkable with Directors Institute.
Great, great, great. And it's fascinating to hear how your journey with Directors Institute has not only influenced your professional approach, but also your personal growth. Ashok Kumar Santharam, it's been an absolute privilege having you with us today. From your incredible journey in the construction world to your thoughts on cost management, ESG, your perspective is truly, truly one of a kind. And we have gained so much insights into what it takes to lead at the highest level. And we are sure our listeners are leaving with a whole new outlook. So thank you for sharing your stories and experiences with us. It's been both enlightening and inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this episode of FaceTime with Leaders. Stay curious, stay bold, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.